Hello, good evening, everyone. Happy New Year, and we're live. 15th episode of the Late Smoke, and the first one for 2025, of course. Let me see if everything is good. Everything is good. Very nice. Just do some more settings. Right, how's everyone? How was the New Year celebration and um, having a good time? A few people already joined. Lovely. Um, yeah, today will be a very interesting one because we're gonna talk lots about the cigars I like. I'm not gonna rant on many brands. I don't think I'm gonna rant on any brands today. So we're just enjoying my top 25. I hope you've seen some of the posts I already did with the top 25s. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about. Before that, what I'm smoking tonight. So I haven't lit a cigar yet because I'm not gonna smoke a big cigar. Um, I'm gonna smoke something from this box. So first cigar from this box. This is one of my, I like to collect interesting, old, weird cigars. This is a German cigar. I believe it's German. I might be wrong, but don't say much information about him. All good around here. Lovely stuff. So this is a brand called Handelshof. I've got lots of different cigars from that brand. This is number 244. I don't know what that stands for. I have a few different numbers like 404, 286 or something like that. They have when I buy cigars from Germany, it's always cool because you can actually think of when they're made. And the Germans always put the price tag, and because they change currencies quite a lot during the past decades, you can easily put some rough dates. So those are using Deutsche Mark here. Deutsche Marks which are not being corrected or anything. So my previous experience mean that's made probably around 1980s, 1970s. So we're talking about 50 years old cigars. I've already opened the box. So I will show you inside. Before that, in all those boxes of those cigars, they always put one of those big copies of the bands they put on the cigars with some cards inside. Maybe they were collectible back in the time. I don't know. So this is some very fancy 908 Berliet. I don't know what brand is that. It's a nice looking band. And then after that, I'll show you the cigars. I don't think they can fall. This is a beautiful box. There are 10 cellophane cigars, all of them with the different bands, each band representing different building in the cities, in different cities. Oops. So yeah, it's a carton box, so nothing fancy. And I'm gonna take one. You cannot see there's a lots of crystals or something inside the cigar, so I'm not gonna jump into that topic. We discuss it lots, but yeah, that will be my cigar tonight. In the meantime, let me know what you're smoking. The cigar is a quite heavy box pressed, round box press. I mean, it's been in the box for 50 years. Cellophane. The cellophane is not usually yellow as some of those I've seen before. That means the cigar's probably been stored pretty much well. Size-wise, this is a 4.5 by 15, the widest part probably. It's like a cone perfecto. Most of those are short fillers. Probably that might be short filler as well. Again, for me that's doesn't really matter. I don't mind short fillers if they're good, well made. So yeah, I don't think you can see it on the camera, but there's literally is like a fine dust on the cigar. Unfortunately, most of it stay on the cellophane inside. Even if I want to make a pictures or anything, you won't be able. The cigar have an interesting hole on the top. The bottom is, I mean, it's a weird looking cigar. I'm not gonna lie, but I smoke already a bunch of those, so I know exactly what I can expect. I will give another cut. I know there's a little punch on top, but I prefer to open it a bit more. Usually those are using lots of Indonesian tobacco. Some of them using Brazilian, but this is quite pale for Brazilian, so majority of this tobacco will be Indonesian, if not all. Some of the oldest releases, my lighter of course, oh, yeah. Some of the oldest releases of those, they were using Cuban tobaccos. I don't think this one is that. Ooh, it's a heavy hit of pepper. Whew. Spices, pepper. Okay, I think that will be. I mean, I might say a few more words about the cigar later. I'm not sure what's the picture on this one. It's some Helsinki theater, I think, but I'll explain it later. Okay, what's happening in the chat? Lots of people talk about some market, Scandinavia, someone smoking Anastasia first edition. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Yeah, that's a good cigar. And I agree with Andre. Some of the other Anastasia's releases, they're not good as the first one. But let's move on. Usually, I have a news section where I talk about different stuff. It's not going to be today. I've got pretty heavy lineup ready to talk about, and there's actually not much of a news happening. I briefly researched what's happening the last week or so. Nothing new, nothing I want to talk about. It's been a pretty quiet week. I mean, everyone's celebrating somewhere. The cigar industry was pretty dead at the moment. Maybe in the next week or so they will start getting new news, new releases. So there will be not much of a news, not much of a talks. But yeah, my personal top 25. I mean, I know some of you maybe all already seen what I post in the Instagram. I'm going to discuss every single one of them. Some of them more, other less. Before I jump into the actual number 25, actual top 25, I want to give you some brief information which maybe I didn't share that much into the social media. Some statistics. I got some stuff written on paper because it's so many stuff. I don't want to open like 15 different spreadsheets on my laptop. But as I mentioned in the post, last year I managed to smoke 906 different cigars. Not different, 906 cigars in total, which is with about 70 cigars less than the year before. So 2023 I managed to smoke about 975, 76. So it was significantly different game. Someone asked me already, why do I think that's the case? I don't really know, to be honest. I believe maybe because I didn't travel to Nicaragua or any other hot countries, and last year I managed to travel to those hot countries, and I smoked significantly more over there. That might be the reason. Or maybe I did few events less than last year, so didn't smoke that many cigars in one day. Different cigars, 880, 844, which I believe was slightly more than the year before. 2023 was 886. I just checked my notes. So more variety in 2024, but more 2023, but more cigars as well. This year I smoked significantly more better cigars. It was hard to choose the final 25. There was another, what is it, probably 20 cigars which didn't make it. They were deserving to be in top 25, but I cannot do like top 40 or top 50, will be pointless. So I have some criteria which I implement in the pretty much last moment, so I can manage to remove some of those really good smokes I already have with the maximum scores. And what I did is basically every brand, if I have multiple different cigars from every brand, I remove most of them and left only one. So I don't want at the end to be like four tatuajes, three Aladino, and so on, so on. So there was a brands which I smoke like three or four, you know, top of the top cigars. I need to choose one. I can give you some examples what didn't go into the top 25, and I think definitely can be top 25 for me. Um, so I will when I mention a brand, then I'm gonna tell you if I smoke anything else from this brand, and I will um, discuss as well that one. Um, I don't have that many awful cigars, like you know, literally cigars which you don't smoke. There was a few examples. I don't want to go on ranting on those brands. I mean, if someone is desperate to know which were the worst cigars I smoke, I have no problem to mention it. But most of them didn't surprise me, to be honest. So, yeah, if anyone wants to have a little browse on that one, I'll definitely throw you a few words in here. Part of the statistics. Majority of the cigars I smoked are from Nicaragua. So I smoke over 450 cigars made in Nicaragua, which is pretty much more than half of them. Andre wants to know what the worst one. Okay, let me sort my spreadsheet with a little bit different way. Okay, well, there are few, there are about 10 cigars which are really bad. So, briefly, again, I'm not gonna jump into all of them. Black Warriors, cigar R&R, it's made for a shop in the States, that was awful. Caldwell Midnight Express Robusto, really bad one, maybe one of which was bad. CEO Vision Churchill, really bad one. Davidoff Grand Cru number 2. I think this was a problem with that specific one because I like Grand Cru. I don't mind Grand Cru. And I smoked a bunch of those number 2s, and this one was unburning. I remember this in the summer. I was outside. And the cigar just don't want to burn. I light it like 15 times. It's charring. It's just something like a metal piece inside. It just don't want to burn. So, yeah, not a nice one. There was a Don Duarte cigars I smoked on the blind taste. Awful. A couple other on the blind taste like Montosa, Ti Amo, San Andres Valley. Those were really bad. I smoked them on the blind. I didn't know what they are. Duke Cigars Daily Dose Vitamin C. That was made for a Facebook group many years ago. It's quite old one. Awful. L'Aurora Leon Jimenez Barrel Aged Alemania exclusive. That was the German edition of L'Aurora. Really bad cigar, honestly. I don't want to go back to that. El Viejo Continente 5 years anniversary Salomon. The thing is, I smoked 3 or 4 of that one, and they were good. There was a one which wasn't. I'll put it down to the maybe that particular one. There's some issue. Of course, there's El Septimo here. El Septimo Bomba Orange. I smoked that in Dortmund with the guys, and Andre was there. This was a bad cigar. So I don't want to smoke it again. Another one was Andre mentioned acid. Well, I didn't smoke any acid this year, but I smoked another flavored one, Lars Stettens B2HM2 Toro Gordo. This was awful. Very flavored, oily. It's like top it up with something and then make it dry. Like if you drop the cigar in the honey and then leave it outside to dry, it was awful. But yeah, those are the worst ones, which are literally the lowest score I can give. Nothing. Again, there's a few surprises here. Maybe the Davidoff usually is not that bad. El Viejo is another one. L'Aurora doesn't make really bad cigars. That's some of the examples. Most of the other brands I usually don't smoke lots of their cigars. CEO, I wouldn't put most of the CEOs in the bad brands, but this specifically the Vision Churchill. It was a bad one. It's not burning. It's just don't want to do anything. So yeah, I'm not gonna stay more on that on that chat. Yeah, I've seen people throwing PDR. I haven't smoked that one. La Navarre, no idea what is that. West Tampa White. West Tampa White, there's an issue with one of the batches. I smoked a few West Tampa White with actually with Rico Rodriguez together, and I told him this batch is not a good one. Yeah, so now I think the white is back to what they should be. Someone tried to smoke Alex Bradley. I don't mind some Alex Bradleys, but I don't think I'll put them in high rates or anything. Usually, for me, they're not a brand which do anything quite wow. But yeah, I'll move back to my statistics. You can guys keep chatting, and I'll go back to the chat at some point. Half of the cigars I smoked Dominican, Nicaraguan. I can mention Dominican Republic is 203 cigars, so that's pretty much quarter of the cigars are Dominican. The next big bundle is Honduras, 80 cigars. There were about 60 cigars which are not disclosed, or I don't know where they come from. There's no information. Some of them are blind smokes or anything. So 60 odd cigars. Cuba. Some people might ask, where is Cuba? Well, Cuba 53 cigars. I smoked 53 Cubans in the last year, which is I expect to be more. But when I put it overall to 800, 900, so 50 out of 900, that's less than, slightly more than 5%, I reckon. Was that 7% or something? So not a lot, but hey, maybe they're too expensive. Other countries I smoked, American, so I smoked 10 American cigars, predominantly Tatuaje, to be honest. I have 3 from China, 3 from Costa Rica, 5 from Mexico, Jamaica. There's a bunch of cigars from Germany. Some of those old ones, there are 12 German cigars. Yeah, other countries, Peru, Philippines, Sri Lanka, Cayman Islands. Try some others. I literally try quite a lot of different countries. So that's on the countries. Brand-wise, or the cigar, I think there was a question. Someone asked me which cigar I smoked the most. Well, there was actually few cigars I smoked the most. I don't know when I put my notes about that one, but Oliva, Siria V, Lancero. Siria V, Lancero, I smoked 3 of them. Plasencia, Alma Fuerte, Robusto. Also 3 of them. And those were the most smoked cigars from me. There was something else, but I don't remember what was the third one. And I don't know where my notes on that one, but that's fine. On the statistic point, I made a statistic to see which brands I smoked the most, and by far the most smoked brand for me is Tatuaje. I smoked 63 cigars from Tatuaje last year. Next one is Nomad, 35, so it's almost half of the numbers. And the other big brands for me were Aganorsa, about 23 cigars, Oliva 22, Viaje 22. Maybe worth mentioning Dumbarton 20, Black Label, Davidoff 19, and that's it pretty much. That's the most smoked brands for me. So yeah, Tatuaje, not a surprise. I'm a big fan of Tatuaje. I like smoking Tatuaje, and yeah, I've tried so many Tatuaje. So those are the little bit of the raw statistics. What are you guys chatting there? Someone enjoy Kintsugi. I don't mind Kintsugi. For me, it's not a bad cigar. Someone have a big shout to the British Cigar Society. Yeah, shout on that one. And the blind tasting, few other worst cigars. Yeah, we all do that. Okay, so let's start. Let's kick in. number 25 was Due Estate Liga Privada T52 Short Corona. Never smoked this size before, never knew it's existing until someone gave it to me. I know it was 2017. The guy who gave it to me mentioned that's 2017 release. The cigar was looking old. The band was yellowish, no cello. Perfect size for a short smoke. 4x40 I think is the size. I'm usually preferring number 9 of the Liga Privadas, but this T52 was literally nail in the where it should be. So there was another Drew Estate which I can mention, which deserves to be as well high. That's I smoke Liga Unico A, the Drew Diplomat edition 2015. That was a recent gift from a good friend, literally a couple of weeks ago, and that was phenomenal. A cigar, I smoked a bunch of those before. They never been that good as this one. Maybe that's because it's one of the oldest releases, about 10 years ago. Phenomenal cigar. Moving on, so in the top 25 there will be no repeated brands. That's one of my rules I made. That's why I'm mentioning what else from that brand. It's a really high score, but it didn't make it to top 25. Number 24, that will be Aganorsa Rare Leaf Reserve Lonsdale. So those used to be with different bands back in the time. They were always good. I think they changed a little bit the blend. They changed the bands, and Lonsdale, amazing size. It was fairly new cigar, 2023 release, so it's one of the newest one. I'm surprised I didn't smoke any other Aganorsa, which is super highly rated. I smoke lots of Aganorsa, but maybe something was missing from the others. Moving on to 23, and this will be the only Tatuaje entry in the ranking. That will be the Monster Karlov, the original size, the full size, which is something like slightly like shorter than Churchill. Outstanding cigar. If you guys can find them, smoke them. They wasn't expensive when they released them. I don't think they're very, very expensive even now. Still, you can find them maybe if you search enough. They were released 2022, so maybe someone might have a box of those as well. As I mentioned, Tatuaje is the most smoked brand for me, and I have 3 other cigars from Tatuaje which I can easily put as in the top 25, but I don't want to be like half of the ranking only Tatuaje, so that's why I decided to choose only one of those 4. The other 3 I smoked the Pumpkin Capa Especial SNS pack. So that was a cigar I have from the SNS pack a couple of months ago with the pumpkin. It was Capa Especial wrapper, absolutely phenomenal. I don't think you can buy this cigar individually, so unfortunately it's a very, very limited, and lots of people collect those pumpkins. So if you want to buy some of them, you probably need to pay quite a few pennies. The other one was Monster Frank Redux. So the Monster Frank Redux was the next release after the Karlov. So they started releasing the previous releases, and the original Monster Frank was phenomenal. I managed to smoke a few of them in the past, and this was the Redux. I was a little skeptical, to be honest, on the Redux because I was like, how better will be, how good can be, 13 years later. It was very good. And the third one, which worth mentioning, will be the Tatuaje Mexican Experiment. That's the first edition Mexican Experiment. I think it was still classed as a limited release. That was 2019. I smoked it early in the year. It was, wow. I don't think I have any other Mexican Experiments. I have the second edition, but not the first one. Maybe now is the moment where I can mention a few brands which don't have any cigar in the top 25, but they were close. There's a brand called Sommelier Selection. It's from a very good friend of mine, Vlada, who used to work for Kazdagli. I'm pretty sure Andre know who I'm talking about. He released his own cigars. And the purple one, the Som Robusto, for me was really, really nice cigar. I also was a little bit skeptical because he make a quite big announcement. It's an old tobacco, it's something phenomenal. I was a little bit skeptical, but actually the cigar was good. Another thing which is not, I don't have any other of this brand in the top 25. This will be My Father. Of course, I have a My Father, which for me was phenomenal. It's not the Judge. I haven't smoked the Judge this year. Maybe next year I'll. This year I haven't smoked the Judge last year. Maybe this year I'll smoke one and see how is it. But the fall 2021 Freedom Sample Exclusive Edition cigar, it's made for a specific sample. That was bang on. Honestly, one of the best cigars I smoke. And this sampler at all, I smoked few cigars from this sampler. They were all phenomenal. Another cigar which worth mentioning. I know I'm not often say high stuff about the brand, but this is Merafel Richard, the Double Robusto. That was a good one. It was a good one. Maybe with the different. I mean, you deserve to be maybe in top 20, maybe in top 30. Okay, it's not the best, as good as some of the other ones already I'm gonna talk about, but the Richard is a good blend. One cigar which I smoke in Dortmund, that was Hemi. It's a brand new brand for me. I met the guy in Dortmund. He gave me a cigar. He says potentially there might be a Cuban tobacco in there. I don't know. I didn't enjoy it just because it's a Cuban tobacco. I don't think it's Cuban or no. It's called Linea Secreta Robusto Undisclosed Blend, made in Dominican Republic. That was a really good cigar. One of the very good cigars I smoked in Dortmund. There's the two cigars from ep.15. I smoked them both blind, and both have a very high score from me. So Allegiance Sidekick and the Pledge Sojourn. Both of them highly ratings. It didn't make it to top 25, but they were very short of that one. And the last brand I want to talk about, just to mention, it's a CEO Fasa Sol Toro. It's a new blend from CEO. I smoked it blind on the Cigar Journal tasting. It was very highly rated for me, and I didn't expect to. I mean, again, when it's blind, you don't have an expectations much about the brands. You don't know what you're smoking. So those were there. They didn't make it to top 25, but yeah, cool. Someone already have a recommendation on the Som Robusto. Yep, very nice. Richard, it's a lot, but it's expensive. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Vlada managed to release a few lines. I smoke only the Som Robusto. I think it's a really good one, made in DR. I think Kellner made them, so good factory. But yeah, I'm going back to my top 25. We're moving to 22, and that will be my Roma Craft entry. Roma Craft Intemperance AC 18 Virtue. I mean, I didn't expect to have this Roma Craft in top 25. When I was looking at the numbers, I was like, wow. And I remember the cigar. I mean, this is probably one of the mildest cigar in the whole ranking. Intemperance EC is a super mild Roma Craft, lots of flavors, lots of aromas. It's their Connecticut line. It's not even actually one of the fancy and expensive ones. It's Intemperance is quite budget line, but it's a good cigar. If you wanna, I'm pretty sure this cigar is available in UK as well. If you wanna jump into something mild from Roma Craft, lots of flavors, it's perfect for everyone. Go for it. Number 21. This is a Roma Craft. Not Roma Craft. Sorry. Room 101 Namakubi Limited Edition 2021. Huge fan of Roma Craft. I don't often rate them on the max scores. It's for me something missing sometimes, most of the times on the Room 101s. But the Namakubi, that was outstanding cigar. I think one of the best looking cigars in the packaging as well. It's with the whole cigar is covered with paper. There's another sleeve on top, so it's a very well packaged. Of course, underneath is a nice looking cigar when you remove all those packaging. Unfortunately, it was a limited edition 2021. I think they re-released some more after that. I'm not sure if it's the same blend as the original, but I mean, it's really good one. Dominican made. I don't have lots of Dominican cigars in my top 25s, but that's a good one. Number 20, Dissident Soapbox Wraith. Dissident. It's a brand which is not owned by Black Label anymore, and the Oveja Negra. It's owned by different people. Still made the cigars by Oveja Negra and Black Label. Um, very hard to find out of the US. I don't think they're anywhere international. I like the people behind Cynthia and Joshua. I mean, at the end of the day, this is a cigar blended by James Brown, and it's a really good one. Right, what's happening in the chat? Guys from Blind Standing OK by Karan Maduro. That's a good one. I like the Connecticut as well by Karan. Luciano, Foreign Affair, I haven't smoked that one. Perdomo 30th Sungrown was very highly rated for me on the blind as well. Intemperance lines, fantastic, perfect. Roma Craft, one of the best blends for value. Yeah, definitely. With Rojas as well, I will put Rojas in one of the best values. Andre wants to try Baca. It's a good one. Baca, first Bacas I smoke, I didn't rate them that well. I didn't enjoy them, but after that, every Baca I smoke, wow. Okay, moving to number 19, Padron 1926 40th Maduro. So last year, the best cigar I smoked was Padron 50th. This time I have the Padron 40th Maduro, of course, pretty high up in 19. There was another Padron cigar which I also enjoy, but the 40th Maduro was not just a tad better. The other one was the Padron Black from the CRA pack. That was a big chunky one, around, not lots of Padrons around. But the Black Label Padron, it is really nice. Unfortunately, I don't think you can find them that easy as well. It's part of a specific sample pack where I don't think you can buy them individually. Moving on to 18, that's Viaje 10 plus 2.5 Gold Edition. As I mentioned at the beginning, I smoke quite a lot of Viajes, and 10 plus 2.5 Gold is a part of 3 different editions: silver, gold, black. There might be another one. The 10 plus 2.5 gold, 10 plus 2.5 silver, black. I'm not sure if there's a white. I think there might be a white one. Different blends. I think I smoke all of them, but the gold one was the one which stand out. And 2019 release, I think, was one of release as well, for the 12.5 years anniversary of Viaje. I mean, who made that kind of anniversary cigar? 10 plus 2.5. But yeah, that's Viaje. You shouldn't be surprised there. There was another Viaje which was really, really nice. That was the Antidote Zombie. I even make a few. I think I made a few posts about it. It's another very nice looking cigar. Look like syringe. Even the packaging is like a plastic jar with syringes. It's the Antidote was Honduran made cigar. The 10 plus 2.5 gold was made by Aganorsa, so Nicaraguan. Viaje makes cigars in both countries, and most of the Viajes are really, really nice. There we go. Camping Cigars joining. Next one, that will be number 17, and this is Nomad Esteli Lot 8613. Nomad is another second most smoked brand for me. Definitely, there's a lots of good Nomads out there. Most of the limited edition Nomads, I don't think I'm very big fan of them. I prefer the standard line. This is one of the standard lines made by J. Fernandez. It was quite heavy and strong cigar. I remember I smoked a bunch of those. They're all very good. They all of them are quite old releases. That's 2016 release. I think Steve Fred Rowe was head of that department. Robusto, they used to have different cigar called Lot 6183 or something, different number with those 4 digits, but I never smoked any of them, and everyone said this is probably one of the best cigars ever made. Not only Nomad is just at all. I cannot say for sure. I haven't smoked him, but I smoke 8613, which is really nice blend. I'm very lucky to have a bunch of them behind me, so yeah, I will enjoy them thoroughly the next few years. Next one, that is probably the most unknown cigar in my top 25. The cigar which already a few people text me and ask me, what is that? Who is that? The brand is called Posipage. The cigar is called the Shepherd, the one with the Ezekiel and the specific numbers, cited quotes from the Bible. Um, the brand is actually, the people behind the brand are very well known. So those are the two Polish brothers, Szczepankiewicz, if I can say it right, who are behind Polstanie, the Polish brand. I mean, they're Americans, but with the Polish background. They do phenomenal cigars. They're made by Roma Craft. So their cigars are made by Roma Craft factory Nika Sweniu. This specific one was a collaboration between those two brothers and Matt Booth from Room 101. I think Matt helped them with the blending. They release it. I am certain 99% that cigar is made by Roma Craft in Nicaragua. Really nice looking packaging. Again, this Ezekiel on the band is really, really interesting. I love those kind of quotes, or not quotes, but maybe when you refer to some of the books on Bibles and stuff like that, and it's interesting. Yeah, really good cigar. I smoke very few cigars from this brand. I cannot say much about it. Postani usually a very good brand. Again, this is technically Roma Craft. So yeah, if you can find them, I don't think they were expensive. That's 2022-2023 release. Just get some. Next one, another very favorite brand for me. That's number 15, and this is a Crown Heads Court Reserve 18 Sublime. Crown Heads. Last year I have Crown Heads in my top 25. This year I have Crown Heads in my top 25. Crown Heads usually do banging cigars. I didn't smoke lots of Crown Heads this year. Last year, for me, to be honest, it's something which I need to change. I need to smoke more Crown Heads. It was just a little bit neglected from my side. But the Crown, the Court Reserve. Oh, I'm so sleepy, guys. Sorry about that. The Court Reserve. It's a nice black and reddish looking band. Probably not one of the main stuff. Crown Heads have a few other more popular, more hype brand lines. Court Reserve, not one of them, but if you can find Court Reserve Sublime, go for it. It's a perfect cigar. Moving to number 14, another very, very boutique one. This is Stolen Throne, the Three Kingdoms Toro. Stolen Throne, another very small, very hard to find lines. I am a big fan of the Stolen Throne. I smoke the Crows, From Crook to the Crown, the Three Kingdoms, pretty much everything they did. I think they don't do bad cigar, in my opinion. Everything they produce, it's a spot on. So if you can, guys, try to find some Stolen Thrones. If you can find them, I don't think they're expensive as well. Maybe the availability will be the bigger problem there, because not lots of shops know them and store them. But if you can find some, please do. It's a really, really good brand. Moving to number 13, very, very popular cigar, Plasencia Almafuerte Robusto. I mean, I don't think I need to explain much about this cigar. I believe most of the people here probably smoke at least a bunch of them. It's a phenomenal cigar. I smoked 3 of those last year. They all been highly rated. One of them was like top of the top. That was a slightly aged, to be honest, 2020. I smoked the other 2. I remember well because he was on a Plasencia training with Rodrigo from Plasencia. They were missing something. Maybe they were too raw. Those cigars, if you age them for a few years, they will be really, really nice. Not only punch, strain, that kind of stuff, will be actually settle, lots of flavors coming up. So my advice, if you buy Almafuertes, age them for a couple of years. There was another Plasencia which worth to be in top 25. Obviously didn't go there. That's the Orchard Selection, the original release Telicatelo. It's a yellow band 2019 release. Everyone I smoked from these cigars, I smoked 4 in the last few years. They were 10 out of 10. This blend was phenomenal. The other blend, the new releases, the last year blend was good, not as good as the Telica. The new blend this year, it's probably the worst from all three. It's still a good cigar, but not as good as the old ones. Maybe it needs some little bit of time. Who knows? Number 12. That's Arturo Fuente, Don Carlos, Eye of the Bull. You know, I don't often hype with the Fuente and the Opuses, but when they're good, they're good. Eye of the Bull, that's the only one I've smoked. I have it, but I actually have this cigar last year, not last year, a year before in Dortmund. Jose Blanco gave it to me. I didn't smoke it there. I should have smoked them there, but I decided to keep it, and I smoked it last year in some point in the summer. It was really nice cigar. Weird size. It's like 3.5 inches short cigar. The top of the cigar have like a different color punch cut from another cigar and put it on top of that on the cup. It's actually sweet. If you lick the cigar before you cut it, it's very sweet. But once you remove it, it's not that sweet. Someone says sweet smoke. It's a sweet, yeah, but it's not like artificial sweet. Only the top of the cup. But yeah, Fuente. It's of course it's a I often rant about the Fuente. My problem there is predominantly with the prices and the craziness about them. I don't say they don't make good cigars. Number 11. This is just slightly before we go to top 10. That's Henk, and the cigar is called the Gaudini. I think Andre can explain lots about that cigar because Andre have some very good relations with Henk. He helped him in the trade shows and everything. So Henk is a brand owned by Heiko Poertz. It's a German guy who is actually a big inventor in the world of the suitcases and all kind of stuff like that. He's very big in the 3D printing. He invented lots of boxes and patents and everything. He also makes cigars with Didier Hohenhagel. The Didier Hohenhagel is the guy behind the brands like La Ley, La Preferida, etc. So Didier blend the cigar. The cigar is made by AJ Fernandez. Heiko is behind the brand, of course. And yeah, Andre mentioned the right name, Henk Maori Gaudini. That's the limited edition 2020. I think Heiko gave me the cigar a couple years ago. I smoked it quite recently, to be honest. I think I smoked the cigar, let me check, December. Yeah, I smoked it like 2 weeks ago. And yeah, this was bang on cigar. I smoked a few other Henks. I think something missing on them. On the others, they always been like 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10. They were good cigars, never having issues, but just something missing to be one of the best. And this small size Gaudini, it was literally perfect for the day, the size, everything. As Anna mentioned, old Nicaraguan tobacco from 2009. Yeah, really good cigar if you can find them. They're not the cheapest one, but sometimes some people say, if you want the ultimate pleasure, you need to pay the price. I haven't said that. Right. Top 10. Number 10. La Flor Dominicana Solis. Another big surprise for me, because I was a little bit skeptical when I get the Solis. I was like, yeah, I mean, they have good cigars, but I don't think I'll change my mind on, who are my favorite La Flor Dominicanas. Solis is actually blended by Lito Jr. So this is Lito's senior son and Tony, his brother. This first blend, his first cigar, it's a nice big Toro Churchill size. Really nice. I smoked it few months ago. I remember very well. It was outside in my shop, just on one of the benches in the city. It was nice weather. I would just want to clear my head of lots of stuff and just sit down on the bench. And I was like, wow, wow, wow. I cannot stop enjoying the cigar. well deserved in my opinion. La Flor Dominicana do phenomenal cigars. There's another La Flor Dominicana I want to mention here, which didn't make it to the top 25, but it was close. That's 1994 Rumbo. That's a very unknown brand, unknown line from La Flor Dominicana, quite an old one. That was 2006, 2007 release, so it's one of my oldest La Flor Dominicanas. My last one, everyone I smoked from those was really nice. Number 9, Hoyo de Monterrey Escogidos, La Casa del Habano, Cuban. I mean, some people were joking with me there will be no Cubans. Of course, there are Cubans. Um, I am personally very surprised myself from that because I'm not a Hoyo de Monterrey guy. For me, it's not one of the brands where Hoyo. I mean, I was like, yeah, Hoyo. I want to pick Hoyo. No, I usually don't pick Hoyo. I remember when I was discussing with Usman and I told him this is one of my best cigars I smoke in the year. I spoke with him even today, and we discussed my top 25, and I told him, Escogidos is in my top 25, and he was like, but you don't even really like Hoyo. And I remember we split this box together. So we bought a box together many years ago, and we're still making our lives. We split it, and yeah, I smoked one of them. This was the first one I think I smoked from the box. That's 2019 box. In the summer, it was really nice cigar. I'm not sure how much it costs now. It's probably 60 odd pounds in UK, maybe even more. It's a fairly big cigar, but it was a good one. Yeah, if you in the meantime, guys, if you want to hear more about the Gaudini, Andre posts some information there. That's about 18 euro for a short robusto, but it's a slow burner. I can vouch for that one. Its cigar is burned very slowly. Gaudini is the most powerful out of them. I didn't know that. It was strong, but maybe that's why I rated more than the others, because I smoked the Salomon, all the bigger ones. So yeah, maybe that's why I rated highly. I didn't know it's the most powerful and the stronger one from all the line. So moving on to number 8, and this is another Cuban cigar, Bolivar Libertador LCDH. This is one of the last boxes I managed to buy myself, Cuban cigars, 2021 release, LCDH. It's probably the only Bolivar I actually enjoy. I don't smoke often Bolivars. I mean, I'm not a big fan of BBF or some of the others. I don't have almost any vintage Bolivars, and LCDH one, the Libertador, is the one I try. I like. Okay, say this is a good cigar. Size is a little bit too big, too crazy big for Cuban. But a few years on age, you can see 2021 box make a miracle. So yeah, I know someone will ask me about the Belicoso. Well, I don't know. I don't vibe with this cigar. Every Belicoso fino I smoke, it's just have the kick. Okay, for a Cuban cigar, definitely have the kick. Obviously, not close to Roma Craft or any of those guys, but compared to other Cubans, there's a kick, but it's just bold kick. I'm missing flavors there. I smoke maybe, I don't know, in overall, not more than 10 Belicosos. Again, I don't smoke lots of them. I smoke few. I don't enjoy them. I don't keep smoking them. I don't have any. I might have a few Belicosos, but I don't think I have. I haven't bought Belicoso. Maybe someone gave me Belicoso. That would be the only way I have Belicoso. It's not something I'll go and buy in the shop. I know lots of people love it. It's favorite cigar for lots of people. Not for me. Moving on. Number 7. That would be Espinosa 601 La Bomba Warhead. Number 7, the Churchill. Of course, Espinosa. I cannot miss Espinosa. It's lots of cigars Espinosa made, which I'm a huge fan. There were 3 Espinosas which I want to choose to put in top 25. All 3 of those Espinosas for me deserve to be out there. I choose the Warhead because for me the Warhead is one of the best lines of cigars ever produced in all the lines and cigars in the world. That's the La Bomba, but the upgraded strength on the La Bomba, called Warheads. Every year different shape, different blend, slightly different blend. Even this year, the 10th won in a few different magazines, big awards. Even Cigar Aficionado mentioned it. So for me, it's a very underrated one. Not a lot of people know about it. It's not easy to find the warheads, but if you find any of the warheads, just buy them. It doesn't matter which size, which blend, they're all good. The other Espinosa I want to mention, 601 Oscuro La Punta, but that was the old one, 2015, one of the first releases of the brand. And Murcielago Perfecto. I love the Murcielago line. The Perfecto is not easy to find size. They're usually Robusto and Toro and Corona Gorda. Perfecto was shop exclusive, I think. Box press with a bump on the bottom. Very interesting looking Perfecto. If you can see some of my pictures, if someone is curious, I can of course find a picture and send it over. But Espinosa, it's one of the highly rated brands for me. Of course, I cannot miss shouting it. And they have a nice present. BBF probably only one I will buy going forward. Andrew, well, I mean, if you like them, of course, buy them. For me, it's a no-go. Where we are, number 6. Dumbarton Tobacco and Trust, Sin Compromiso, Interpido. Of course, Dumbarton, one of the brands I smoke most. They're bang on. There's a lots of Dumbarton deserve to be in the top rankings. I'm pretty sure in the next few shows we're going to hear more about Dumbarton. I still need to talk about a few other top 25s. Sin Compromiso is one of my favorite lines from Dumbarton. I think it's one of the most popular as well. Interpido is I think it's a Corona Gorda style size. I'm not sure the measurements, but I think it's 6 and maybe 6.5, 46 or something like 6.25, 46, something in this range. Another Dumbarton I want to mention also was the DTT EX38. That was a special release for the Big Smoke, for smoking Big Smoke. I think it was called Big Smoke 2021. One of the first online big events they did. Actually, I think this lighter is from that event. The last luau, that's 2022. Maybe the next one. It was my last one. I don't think I'll ever find any of those. Every one I smoke from that pack of 10, there was absolutely outstanding cigar. I decided to smoke my last one this year, so yeah. DTT Sin Compromiso, just breathtaking. I'm agree. It's a nice one. Someone need to try the bronze back. I used to love the Umbagok. I love Umbagok. Bronze back, I haven't tried myself as well. I don't think, because it's a new one, I stopped buying new cigars, so I don't think I'll find it anytime soon. Someone smoked the last night bomber from Lugo. It blown away. Yeah, well, Lugo smokes strong cigars. Under smoked the overseas release. I haven't smoked that one yet. I have one from Steve Saka from Dortmund. I haven't smoked it yet, so can't comment on that. So what do you have? Hoyu, Duroy, Monte number 1, number 3, Lusitanias, Polar Negra Planteos. That's a nice selection. Monte number 1 is probably the one I need to look after that one. I'm not a big fan of Lusitanias anyway, so yeah, let's not go there. Moving on. We are now to number 5. Yeah, that's the recent list I literally add in the Instagram before the show starts. This is Illusione Fume d'Amore Junipers. Illusione, another crazy good brand, one of the first boutique brands I've enjoyed. Fume d'Amore is one of the lines which I don't think lots of people actually know, smoke. It's one of those sidewise. They're not expensive. That's a very budget cigar. The Junipero size, I believe, is a Lancero, and I think actually for someone who likes Lanceros, I think this is the only Lancero in my top 25. There's a bunch of Lonsdales, but there's no other Lancero. I think I'm just looking all the cigars. I think this is the only Lancero, but I don't smoke lots of Lanceros. For me, that's a pressure thing. I don't jump for Lancero. When I open a box and I see Toro, I'll smoke the Toro. I just don't want to smoke the Lancero. I don't know. I collect Lanceros. I smoke them, but not often. Number 4, just short of the the top three. This is Romeo and Julieta Short Churchill. For me, the best Cuban Robusto made. I'm a big fan. Not lots of people like the Short Churchill. Lots of people smoke the white, the standard. For me, the Short Churchill is the most classic Cuban cigar. Um, Mild, medium, call it medium. Lots of flavors, floralness, all kind of stuff. It's not very earthy like most of the Cubans, in my opinion. Um, that specific one, 2013, I smoke one of those every year. They all outstanding. They all 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. I'm lucky that I have a two and a half boxes from those. I literally bought 3 or 4 boxes 2013. They have literally the consecutive numbers on the barcodes and everything. And I think I told the story back in the time to some people. When I bought them, I smoked one quite fresh. It was awful. It's unsmokable. And I say, yeah, I did a mistake. Bought like 4 boxes, and back in the time, they wasn't expensive, but I was like, yeah. I gave away maybe 1 box of those. I left, kept the other ones. When I moved to my humidor here, so that's 6-7 years after I bought the boxes, I was like, you know what? I'll smoke one of those. If they're not good, I'm gonna give away them. I'm not gonna keep them. Smoke one. Wow. So since then, every year smoke 1 or 2 of them, and they're really, really nice. The ash is one of the longest keeping ash cigars. I know it's a Robusto, 4 and 7 and 8, but the ash, you can keep the ash literally to half an inch of the cigar, and the ash is not falling. It's so well made cigar. It's almost square. They all box 10 boxes of 10, so it's like a square box press. You know, that tight made cigar. Well, good investment. I didn't buy them to invest them. I buy them to enjoy them because I used to smoke way more Cubans back in the time, and I didn't enjoy it at first, but then the cigar changed. So, yep. Andre mentioning the Essence Lancero box, the Zodiac. This was a really nice looking box. I still hasn't smoked any of them. My heart's breaking when I'm thinking that I want to try them, but I'm gonna destroy the full set of 13. But the cigars are for smoking. You know, I keep saying that, so I don't want to promise, but I will try to smoke at least one this year. Top 3. That top 3 was really hard. Those 3 cigars, all of them deserve to be number 1. I literally sitting down for 10-15 minutes looking at my pictures. I remember very well all 3 cigars when I smoked them, what was the experience. All 3 cigars I smoked in the next top 3, I smoked them with the people who make them. So for me, this is a special. So every one of those cigars, it was given to me by the person who made it, and I smoked it with him, and I rate it very highly. I smoke lots of cigars with people who made them. Sometimes I don't rate them highly. I just, say it's a good cigar, that's it. But those 3, any of them should be number 1. It was hard for me to choose. I decided to choose maybe because I like more the brand which will be number 1 than the other 2. Not like I don't like the other 2. I like the other 2 as well. But it was just, you'll find out. Hey, someone's just joined. No problem. So number 3, that's Aladino Fumanoche Toro. The best Aladino I ever smoked, definitely. I smoked the cigar when Vivi was my guest back in April. I think the cigar was just released. She bring me a few samples. I couldn't wait to smoke it. I smoked it with her, and I was like, "This is my Aladino." I like Aladino, but I was missing something. Maybe strength. Maybe something's missing from their lines. And when I smoked this one, I was like, "Hell yeah!" This is what I was missing from a cigar. And every time I see Vivian, her dad, Hustu, I met them many times this last year, 3 or 4 times, even in Dortmund, sit down with them, they enjoy cigars. And I keep saying, Fuma Noche, it's the cigar which you should make all the time. You should not stop making the cigar. And if someone wants to, because I didn't have that specific profile where corojo, pepper, spicy. If you want to escape of that profile, you want to try something else. Cameron is a good example, but the Fumanochi is something different. And I hope Fumanochi to get more accolades, to be more highly rated in the rankings. I hope Cigar Journal to rate it high. I know we smoke it. I know lots of people give a good rates to that one. I don't have a view of what will be in top 25 in the journal, but I hope Fumanochi to be there because that cigar deserves to be in the top 3, if not the best. If you haven't smoked Fumanochi, I would advise go and buy them. They're quite heavy in Europe, most of the countries. We have the cigar in UK. Every shop should have the cigar. If you don't have it, that's a mistake. Go for it. There's another Aladino which I want to mention, which also was a really good one, but I didn't put it in top 25 for various reasons. So Aladino Cameron Reserva. I even smoked one earlier today. I have very strange, weird feelings with this cigar. So the first one I smoked was again very early in the release. That's the very limited release. I wasn't happy with it. I didn't enjoy it. There was lots of construction issues. Not my cigar. Smoke one about a month ago. Was really, really nice cigar. One of the best cigars from Aladino I smoked. And I was like, 2 cigars, same batch, I think, very different. That's why I decided to smoke the third one earlier today. I want to see what will be my suspicious, what I'm going to talk about, because I want to talk about the cigar. It was not that good as the previous one. It wasn't bad as the first one, but it was in between them. So I need more investigating on this cigar. It's definitely interesting stuff, but not something I can still put my values, no, my scores or anything like that. Number 2, we're just below number 1. Number 2, that is Rojas 10th anniversary. Rojas 10th anniversary. I managed to meet Noel Rojas in Dortmund. He gave me the cigar. We have a really nice chatting conversation, and this was one of the best cigars I smoked in Intertabac. I literally was walking, don't want to finish it, smoking, talking with different people, and everyone asked me, what are you smoking? I was saying, most of the people hasn't heard of the brand. And I was nubbing the cigar, and a few people like, oh, throw that one, get another cigar. I'll give you another cigar. I was like, I don't want to throw it. It's so good. I usually rarely nub the cigar like down, but this was phenomenal. I know it's limited edition released, I think the last year or this year. If you can find some of the Rojas 10th anniversary, please do. It's Rojas is another brand which deserves more compliments. Make phenomenal cheap cigars, budget range, but they are all, all the street tacos, absolute bangers. The KSG, phenomenal. Scotch Bonnet, phenomenal. Blue Bonnet, not Scotch Bonnet. Blue Bonnet, phenomenal. So everything this guy made, for me, it's really outstanding. So if you haven't tried any Rojas, please do. And now it's time for the number 1. I mean, whoever know me probably realize which brand I didn't mention in top 25 so far. Last year he wasn't number 1. He was in my top 25, but I didn't put it in number 1. This year I met him in Dortmund again. Spent lots of time with him. We talk a lot about different stuff. He gave me a bunch of cigars. I smoked one with him, and I was like, I love your cigars. But I didn't believe you were gonna make something better and better, because Last year he gave me a cigar. It was phenomenal, better than almost everything he made. And now he gave me another one, and it's better than the previous one. And I was like, I don't know how you made it. Yeah, people already start mentioning. So it's not Tatuaje. I mentioned Tatuaje is 20 something, 20, what was 25, 20, number 22 was Tatuaje. But Andre is right. I'm talking about Black Label Trading Company. So number one, Black Label Trading Company, Orthodox. That's the Slim Toro. Um, I don't know what to say about the cigar. It's absolute phenomenon. I mean, it's wow. The cigar is obviously Black Label is one of my favorite one. My favorite factories, my favorite people. I try to be relevant as possible. Last year again, the few last year I mentioned. Um, the La Madonna Negra was my last year. Well, I did. It's not intentional about the mug. I'm sorry, Andre, you mentioned it. Um, this is my favorite mug. I always use this mug. I don't have other cigar mug, and this mug keep my tea warm for like 2 hours. That's why I use it. It's already beat up everywhere, but I don't want to replace it. But yeah, I don't want to tell anyone any hints or anything. But if you see the top 25, you're probably gonna ask where is Black Label. Well, Black Label is number one, guys. Um, Again, the top three, every of those cigars deserve to be number one. Maybe I choose this one because Black Label is the brand I love the most than anyone. Um, it won't be wrong if Rojas is on number one. Or all those three really nice cigars. The best cigars I smoked in the last year, in my opinion. I have a couple other Orthodox. I probably will smoke this year more of them, so I can see is he actually consistently good, because the Fuma Noche is consistently good. Rojas I haven't smoked, and I don't want to have a few more, so I will smoke them as well, see how they good. But yeah, if you want to try something not super strong, because the Orthodox is not strong as some other Black Labels, but flavors, oh gosh, every puff is different. Every puff, and for me this is the biggest quality of one cigar, to puff in and every puff to be something different, and you don't want to stop thinking about the cigar. Maybe it's not for every occasion. Some occasions you want cigar which you puff in talking with friends, you don't want to think about the cigar. Yeah, then grab something which probably you're not going to enjoy that much. But when you're saying, I smoke lots of cigars by myself, just alone. And sometimes I don't have much stuff to do. I just maybe put some music on the vinyls, watch football, whatever. And I just want to smoke a good cigar and then light something like that. And this one I was with James, and I keep saying him how good is the cigar. And maybe he didn't believe me. I was like, oh, this guy probably bullshitting me because he's smoking with me. But it is a good cigar. It's not. I will probably post tomorrow my number one, and I'll tag Angel and James, a great couple who make phenomenal cigars. And yeah, this is my top 25. There's a few other Black Labels I want to mention. Of course, there's not only Black Label I smoke, which is outstanding, but this one I smoked with James in his company, and he gave it to me, and of course, it's better than the other two. The other two I want to mention is a Benediction Lonsdale, which I smoked a couple of weeks ago. Phenomenal. It's quite old, 2016 blend, but worth the wait. The third one is Blackworks Studio Hyena Corona Gorda. Blackworks is a slightly offshoot brand of Black Label. Hyena is one of those multicolors Barbara Paul cigars. Corona Gorda, beautiful size. Another one if you want to try. That was 2020 release. So yeah, I think that's the top 25. I even mentioned more than 25. I mentioned some of the other lines which I smoke, and they also deserve to be in the top 25. Someone tried to buy the top 25. I hope you can find all of the top 25, because few of those won't be easy to find. Maybe not the years I mentioned, but with a few exceptions, maybe you'll be able to buy and spend. If you guys remember at least few of those top 25 and you manage to smoke them, just let me know what you're thinking. I mean, I'm always happy to discuss about the different cigars. You don't need to agree with my opinion, of course. This is my view. Over 840 cigars smoked, different. Those was the 25 I can pick and separate from the others. Um, I'm already implementing slightly tougher criteria for the next year, so I won't be that much of a pain in my ass to try to separate 50 cigar 25 out of 50, because there were literally about 50 really good ones, and I was looking at pictures and I was like, this was better than that one, this was better than that one. So someone smoked 18 from the last 25. Good, that's very, very nice. So yeah, there's in overall the top 25, I think I have cigars from everywhere. I got Honduran cigar, I got Cuban, I got Nicaraguan, Dominican. Of course, the Nicaraguans are more than the others, but that's more than half of the cigars I smoked. On another side, guys, there will be a couple more episodes I'm planning on the top 25 stocks. Next week, there will be the next one. I still have some more stuff to discuss and talk. There's a few good releases I'm waiting, a few other medias I'm waiting on their top 25s. Andre mentioned something. So the consensus is something very interesting. I already mentioned it in all the other episodes, and the consensus is if I publish my reviews, I will probably be involved in the consensus. But because I don't publish, I'm not about that. It's all about my personal view. I'm gonna branch into the consensus crazy. I'm gonna move some cigars literally up and down and stuff like that. But yeah, the consensus is something I want to definitely talk about once the half will manage to go through that one, maybe towards the end of the month. Yeah, I mean, appreciate everyone who commented tonight. It was really fun. I've got lots of comments. I hope I answered most of the questions. I hope you like my top 25. If you don't like it, that's fine. Just send me a text. Tell me I'm a numpty and I don't know anything about cigars. I'll agree with you. I mean, it's me. Yeah, I'll be with you next week as usual. What's next week? To 13th of January. With another portion of top 25s and discussion about the top 25s. In the meantime, send me a messages. If you want to discuss something, if you want to know more about some specific cigar from the top 25, give me a shout. Even if you wonder about something, it's usual. Send us a message and I will try to answer. In the meantime, smoke your cigars. By the way, my cigar was a really good one. Before we shut out, I mentioned to show you the band on my cigar. The band is actually Helsinki National Theatre. And there's a number 16. I guess that's probably the band number 16. Old cigar, nothing too crazy. I just don't want something which I will keep it distracting me from talking with you guys and enjoying chatting. So yeah, thank you very much for the good words. Stay smoky, smoke your cigars. Tomorrow's never given. My usual stuff, usual drills, usual topics. Stay smoky. I'll see you next Monday, same time, 8 p.m., same place, the late smoke, and same idea, talking about top 25s. Take care, guys.